Hey everybody, it's Audrey back at you again with another studying video. This week I'm going to be talking about how to schedule yourself when you have a ton of stuff due in the upcoming school week. This next week is going to be crazy. Just on Monday, I have an entire math project due. I have a huge stack of homework and a quiz in my Japanese class. And then there's a biology lab. Now, in theory, this wouldn't be so bad, but each of these individual assignments is worth a ton of points towards my final grade in each class. So, there's a lot of pressure. What I do is I break each project down in my bullet journal in manageable chunks. So I've written down exactly how many pages I want to get done, how far I want to get in the project, and my goal is to be done by Sunday afternoon. I don't want to be, oh, it's 10:30 and I still have an entire paragraph to write up in my math project. I'm not a fan of waiting until the last minute. I try to avoid it, but it happens to all of us. The best way to avoid it, though, is to really schedule yourself. Now, Saturday is my day to get a ton of stuff done. I'm sacrificing free time to be in these college classes because I do work as well. On my blog, I have a post discussing how much time you're expected to put into a college class based on its credits. So I'm going to link that below because I think it's really, really important for kids to realize exactly how much time you're expected to put into your individual courses when you've entered college. So let's go ahead and talk about the decision-making process behind why I did things in the order that I did them. I always follow what's written down in my bullet journal, and the first thing I do is my math project because I am not gifted at math, so it takes me the longest, and I want to get it out of the way, and I know I'm going to have questions for my professor. Then I work on Japanese. I'm studying for the quiz with flashcards that I've made myself. We only have 5 kanji to memorize right now, so flashcards are a really manageable way to study for me at this point in the class. Once I've studied for Japanese by making my flashcards and reviewing my notes, I move on to biology because even though the lab is worth a ton of points, it's the least labor intensive. So first I start with my math project. I have tabbed the pages that I need for this project. They're the formulas and the notes that I took in class for this specific project. I use sticky notes to outline everything that I want to remember, and I keep things in a concise, easy to find place so that I'm organized when I start working on that project. Then I work on Japanese because there's a ton of homework due and there's a quiz. So I've made flashcards for the kanji that we have learned so far. They're your standard flashcard with the character on the front, definitions on the back, and an example of how it's used in a sentence. So that's how I've decided to study. It's my first time making flashcards, so I'll let you guys know how it goes, and you can also leave comments below letting me know if flashcards are your favorite tool or if you think there's a better alternative for memorization. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to work on my biology lab. It's worth a ton of points, but it is the least labor intensive out of all of the things that are due because it's just watching some cell diagrams, drawing the cell, and then labeling it, and I have to do that for 5 different cells, but it's not going to take me too long. And then I just answer some questions about how big those cells are, and all of that information is on the website that she gave us, so I saved that for last. So again, you need to make sure that you're prioritizing yourself based on how difficult finishing the project is going to be for you. So I have ordered myself with math first because that takes me the most time. Then I study for Japanese and get all that homework out of the way, and I broke that up in my bullet journal by writing down, I want to be this far by Sunday. I want to have all of this done on Friday. And it's really important that when you write down a schedule, you're sticking to it so that your study time is being used as effectively as it can be, especially if you're like me and you're a full-time student on top of working. I've made flashcards for the very first time. They're not beautiful, but they get the job done. And they have been pretty helpful so far. We're going to see how it works once I get more kanji under my belt. And last but not least, you do whatever you think is going to take the least amount of time. Don't put it off until 10:30 the night before your class, though. And that is my study routine for when I have a ton of stuff due. on the Monday after my weekend.
And now for some behind the scene footage at my desk. It normally doesn't look this cluttered, but when I'm actually working at it, I really have to spread stuff out for myself. And I usually have some kind of snack, my water, those are all my books and my folders. I try to keep it organized, but if I'm being real with you, while I'm studying, it gets pretty messy, and it's only after I've finished working that I can put everything away and be more contained. But yeah, there's a real look at the organized chaos that is my desk.